watch the moon over the course of several weeks, you would see that light would gradually be added to the face of the moon, and then after reaching the full phase, the light would seem to come off. So these are the familiar phases of the moon. Now, before we describe the phases of the moon, let's just clarify one rather important point about the moon, and that is we always see the same side of the moon. It doesn't matter what phase it's in. If you look at the features on the moon's surface, we're always seeing the same near side of the moon. So a really good way to compare
as can be seen here, heavenly body which revolves around the earth monthly. Middle English Monet, from Old English Mona, from Proto-Germanic Menon. As you can see, Latin, Greek, it all means month, right? So just remember that. Moon means month. You have to remember this, okay? So Hezekiah's moon means month, then we need the moon to tell us what time it really is, correct? And that's the thing about it. A lot of people don't understand. Like when you look at the Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Yehuda, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, Benjamin, replaced Joseph, Ephraim, and Manasseh, 13 tribes, not 12. They didn't have iPhones. They didn't have wristwatches. They actually used the moon. If you go and look at an almanac, you know when to plant things, when to do things, plant farms. And because remember, you have to feed yourself. There were no Walmarts, no grocery stores, no Targets, no Sam's Club, etc. There were no factories mass producing food. So we actually had to know how to tell time. And the timepiece in the beginning is right there in Genesis chapter 1. It's the sun and the moon, even the stars. Okay? So when you look at this here, like Bereshit 1 and 16, you see 1 through 28. 28, 13 months. 28 times what? 13, you get 364. The next day will be 365. You start the year over. So this is just some of the things out here when we discuss this topic with other people, and they discuss this topic with me, quite often. They'll say, the Shabbat is from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, and the truth is, it's not from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. And like I said, just look up the word evening. You'll see it means twilight, and that's when it's a little light outside, right? When you don't see the sun, but visually you still have light outside, right? And then of course, that's too much of a variant. The Most High really doesn't work that way. That's too much of a variant in time. So when it gets dark, people are going to see it's dark. Everybody knows it's dark, children, elderly, whatever. But when there's twilight or the day's just started, how do you really know? Because you don't see the sun. What if it's cloudy? But when it's dark, it doesn't matter if it's cloudy or not. Boom, it's a clear cutoff time, right? Cutoff point. And that's how Yah is. Yah is very methodical, very precise, because chaos comes when things are not precise. And Yah is the master of precision. Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change the times and laws. And they shall be given unto his hand until the time and times and the dividing of time. He thinks to change the times and laws. Really think about that. He can't change the times and laws because he can't change the sun and the moon. Now let's look at the months. We got menses, and remember menses, just like a woman on a menstrual cycle, a mense. Mense Martius is March. Mense Aprilis is April. Menses Maius is May. Menses Ionis is June. July is Julius Caesar. August is Augustus Caesar. Some people say Caesar, but I say Kaiser. September, October, right? So you see that. But we're actually running into a bit of a problem, okay? And here's the reason, the ones that I had with an asterisk by them. September, we know that the word septem is Latin for 7, octo for 8, novem for 9, and dec or deca, decim for 10. So why is it September is the 9th month instead of the 7th? Because September or septem means 7. Also, why is October the 10th month instead of the 8th? Like an octopus has what? 8 tentacles. November 11th, but it's supposed to be the 9th month. And in Rome, Latin Rome, it was the 9th month. And then of course December, deca, decimal, dec, means 10, but it's the 12th month. Because they changed the calendar multiple times, we all know that. But we're still trying to keep Yah's days and understanding times and laws based on the heathen who thinks to change the times and laws. He thinks to change them. We will ignorantly just go along with it, to be honest with you. That's really what's going on here. We're just going along with the flow, and we're pretending that there was a Sunday through a Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. We know these days, like Friday is Freya, Thursday, Thor's Day, etc. We know these days and months are named after pagan customs, pagan deities, and understandings, right? So let's look at that for a second. Because remember, the Latin word for month is menses. Just like a woman has a menstrual cycle, because it's a monthly cycle. So this is some of the questions I'm actually routinely asked. Okay, so these are things I'm asked all the time, right? And some of them are very simple, but let's see. So Ezekiel, are you saying that Shabbat isn't from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown? The answer is it can't be, because the thing about Yah is he's very specific. There's no chaos with Yah. Chaos is the absence of Yah. And they want us to think that we're flying around on a spinning globe and it's just chaotic and a meteor can wipe us out at any time and killing the dinosaurs. That's all chaos. That's no creator, right? Bereshit 1 and 5, and Yah called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning was the first day. That Hebrew word right there, Hebrew 6:153, is a reb, and it can mean dusk or night. So when you go to Exodus 12 and 12, for I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. Now this is the Hebrew word layil, right? Now layil can also mean, it literally means night, but remember areb can mean night or dusk. So you have to use them in their proper context. And that's what a lot of people don't do. So there's too much different variation in the word twilight that starts the day. No, the day shifts with a complete break because Yah is about order. Okay, so Areb and Laliyah can both mean night, while it can mean dusky with Areb. Like I said earlier, we must use it in the proper context. And that's what Yah is about. Yah is very precise. So when it gets dark, everybody knows it's dark. Twilight, not so much. So this is Shemot 12 and 3. Speak ye unto the congregation of Israel, saying in the 10th day of the month, that shall take them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers. Now let's jump down to verse 6. And ye shall keep it up to the 14th day, the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. Now we know that the evening, the dark, makes the actual next day. And we know this because if you say 14 to 21, 7 days later, that's 8 days actually. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That would be 8 days. But we know that the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread starts together on the 14th day of the evening, which is technically the 15th. And Yah put it that way so that Esau couldn't trick us. We just have to be clever enough to actually go back and really count. And, you know, whatever you have to do to understand these things, right? So that's one of the things you got to watch out for. And Yah gives you the spirit to understand. It's not a Harry Potter book. You understand everything through the spirit of Yah. Here's another question. So Ezekiel, if the days of the week aren't Sunday through Saturday, what were the days called? Literally, I promise you, I got this. And I was just sitting there like, what do you mean? Like when you go to Bereshit chapter 1, it literally says evening, morning, first day, evening, morning, second day, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? But I really do be getting this a lot when I explain this to people, because some people sit there and say, oh man, you're working on a Shabbat, because they may see me at work or something on a Friday. So we look at Yom Echad, Shema, Shalosh, Arba, Kamai, Shesh, and Shabbat, right? And that's just day 1 through 7. Yom means day. Okay, so you say Yom Echad, that's day 1. That's it. We didn't have names because we didn't worship other deities. So when you look at, like I told you, you look at Sunday, the day of the sun, you go back and look at Rome, look at Latin, and you'll start to see and other different deities that crept in, like Freya on a Friday, Thursday, Thor's Day, etc. Right? So hopefully you guys understand this so far. And like I said, you look at that Latin term menses, which is where we get the word menstrual, or the actual word monthly from. Because the moon and month, those words are synonymous. They're interchangeable. And that's what people don't want you to know. So when you look at the new moon actually starts the month, the new moon, new month. And there's a new moon Shabbat, and then 7 days after that, on the 8th day, you get what? Boom, the actual weekly Shabbat. It's very simple, and it doesn't change. See, this is why when you look at this Gregorian calendar, Julian calendar, you start to notice that, let's say your birthday is on a Thursday, and next year it's not on a Thursday. When the Most High said the 14th day at even, it's the 14th day of Eden, at even. It's real simple concepts. But a lot of people don't really understand this. You'll be surprised. So remember, the evening and the morning, Bereshit chapter 1 is the first day. At dark, evening at dark starts the new day. It doesn't start at 12 o'clock midnight. So if you drop Sunday through Saturday out of your vocabulary, if you drop 1 through 31 for some months out of your calendar, and just do day 1 through 7, then 7 through 14. And if you look in the scriptures, you'll notice you never see 30 and 31. Now anyway, we're going to use the May as an example. So the new moon actually landed on the 7th, which means the new moon or the new month started May 7th, not May 1st. This is why so people have so many issues, because the Shabbat would have been on the 4th, 3rd and 4th, if you'd have been keeping it based on the Gregorian calendar. But if you're doing it based on the moon, which Yah gave us, the new moon was Tuesday night at dark. It got dark. That's the new moon. That's the 7th, technically the 8th. But we're just going to use this calendar to be, help you understand it. So that's the 7th. When you count next, you got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 7 days later, 14th again. 21st, 28th. Now remember, it's 29.6 days though. So it's 29.6 days in a month. But that's 28 days there, because the next day after the 28th, you'll get another new moon. Right? Give or take a few hours, you roughly get another moon. Remember, we didn't have iPhones and all these other things. We were looking right at the sky to tell us when to plant crops, what time it was, what time of the day it was, and then people started inventing things like sundials and stuff like that, which we use as well. That's not idolatry, because remember, the sun, stars, moons, and things like that, Yah gave them to us for signs and wonders. Emphasis on signs and wonders. So now, we're going to go through and break down. So you have 4 major moon phases, right? You got the new moon, the first quarter, the full moon, and the third quarter. Then you see how the blue, it starts over again with this one. Now in between, you got the waxing crescent, the waxing gibbous, the waning gibbous, and then the waning crescent. So those are the 8 all together, but you got 4 main: new, first, full, and third quarter, okay? So when you understand this, the evening and the morning, evening, night, in the morning, don't worry about the word morning, but the evening, the night is the new day. So on the 4th, so when the new moon started on the 7th of this month, the 7th at dark, when it got dark, was technically the 8th. And if you say 8 to 9, 9 to 10, you go back, it'll be the 14th going to the 15th. And that's how you know it adds up, because Passover is the 14th day at evening. But if you say 14 plus 7, you get 8 days. You don't get 7 days. Because what's after 7 days with Passover? You get what? Feast of Unleavened Bread for 7 days. And the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread starts at the same time, because you have to eat unleavened bread at the same time. And when we walked into the wilderness, we walked out with our shoes, coats, and staff and everything, okay?